Hello and welcome to today's video. In this video we'll be looking back how my stocks and shares portfolio performed over the month of May. If you're new here then please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe for future content. May saw huge volatility in the markets for yet another month running. This volatility came from a number of factors. I can't see any of these factors going away anytime soon, and unfortunately I think we're yet to see the real damage done. Russia's invasion of Ukraine got even more deplorable as they started to block grain exports and loot materials manufactured in Ukraine. The supply issues have already sent prices spiralling upwards in recent weeks, but I'm lucky to live in a relatively rich nation. But we still have a massive percentage of the population living in food poverty, with many people in well-paid jobs having to rely on food banks to make it through the month, so you can see how this could affect those in poorer countries. This could trigger a real crisis in some nations that can't grow these crops in their climates and rely heavily on imports. The collateral damage from this war is reaching further out by the day. I think one of the big potential problems of this war could be that it looks like it won't be over anytime soon, and I think it's only a matter of time before we see disagreements within NATO countries on how to deal with the situation. And with Russia's tactic of divide and conquer, thinking back to the Trump campaign or Brexit over here, I think it may be a case of what comes first. Russia's economy grinding to a halt and unable to continue its military funding, or NATO stumbling over red tape and not supplying Ukraine quickly enough to defend itself. With so many uncertainties though, this is not going to build any confidence in the markets anytime soon. On top of this already dire situation, we have inflation rising sharply, leading to massive economic tensions that a big crash could be looming, and that is also driving up costs big time. In England we have what we're calling a cost of living crisis, which should probably be renamed to companies don't want to pay their workers fairly crisis, as a lot of key companies are still reporting some pretty meaty profits, yet offering their employees very little in the way of pay rises. There seems to be a growing discontent within some workforces, and with this melting pot of problems and with no easy resolution, I think this could spell some real trouble in the coming months. Industrial action is bad for business, but I'm all for it if people get a fair wage from it. I was thinking, while things are looking pretty bleak, about maybe putting a good news or heartwarming story in between the monthly roundup and portfolio update to give some hope, as I hate all this doom and gloom. Let me know what your thoughts are on that down below. With how everything is looking at the minute, it's very easy to be pulled down emotionally. Please reach out if you're feeling that way, and don't let that black dog hump your leg. So with that little rant out of the way, let's take a look at my portfolio. I'll start with income and loyalty bonuses. I didn't receive any dividends in May, but I think I have 3 due in June. So I think with my loyalty bonus rising as well, June should see my biggest monthly income so far. As I'm not taking this as income though, I'll probably readdress the funds that pay dividends soon, but that will probably be in a future video. It's nice to see my loyalty bonus over the £1 mark at last though. That brings me down to hitting that £10 auto reinvestment just under every 10 months. I was hoping to bring that down to 6 months soon, but as I'm pulling away from funds a little at the moment and putting money into shares, this may take a little longer. It won't take me long to hit the next £10 though at this rate. My portfolio on the whole just about managed to stay above the profit line by the end of the month, but it did dip down into the red quite a few times towards the end of the month, but just about managed to recover by the very end. It's still getting pulled down heavily by my emerging markets fund and my legal and general shares. I'm looking to get rid of my emerging markets fund once it's out of the red. I don't want to realise a loss by selling it off now. My legal and general shares are one that I want to hold for a long time, unless something significant changes within the company. So although it's annoying that they're down, it's making me tempted to buy some more, as I think they're looking like good value. It's something I will weigh up though. I don't want all my eggs in one basket. It's always good to diversify. But as I'm still investing relatively small amounts, I need to work out if I'm better spreading to different areas now or topping up my legal and general shares. I did actually make a trade midway through the month. I was debating what to do with the cash I'm holding on the account. I was in two minds whether to top up a fund that was risky but could see stronger gains, or to play it safe and put the money into my Peerford Global Total Return Fund, which is the safer but less rewarding fund. I decided to take a bit of a risk and dealt £100 into the Aviva listed equity fund, but then talk of a windfall tax later in the day made me cancel my order, as I felt this could affect the fund in the coming months. So I still have the cash on account as of now. I think I may go in a different direction altogether, as we're getting to the point now where the return I'm seeing on the Peerford account is definitely not inflation busting, and I get a similar return in my savings account, but without the fees. When I originally paid into this fund, the markets were dropping like crazy, so it was to protect against that loss. I think now though I'm going to take the opportunity to get into some more shares that will hopefully see some bigger returns in the long run. I'll run through my funds that I haven't looked at so far just briefly now, so you can pause and take a look if you want. How are you feeling about this at the moment though? Are you seeing this as one big sale and buying things up while they're cheap, or are you putting back until things settle? As always, I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know down below. That's it for today. Stay safe out there, and I hope to see you next time.